We've got an illegal invasion. Kevin McCarthy looks a little stumped. The Wall Street Journal is really mocking Joe Biden. And some big news from Tucker Carlson. This is Steve Elliott with Brian Connor with our VIP special report. Brian, the news just does not stop.
Another big week, Steve, across America. You named it. I mean, we got immigration, we got a debt crisis, Tucker's back, and Trump guilty.
Gosh. Well, hopefully not guilty, but let's get right to the news. I mean, it's actually been kind of crazy what's happening right now at the border. We have, this is a video that's just showing just hundreds of people crossing. I'm assuming it's the Rio Grande River. It's a river. They're just climbing to get into this country. It's getting to be really, really desperate times because of the deadline that's coming up this week. Brian, give us some details.
Yeah, Title 42 actually dates back to 1944. So it's a 79-year-old measure that was instituted by the Trump administration during COVID to make it possible to expel illegal immigrants based on, whether or not they posed a health threat. And they've been keeping it going to try and tamp down on, the number of illegals crossing the border. But it hasn't really done much. I mean, when you look at the numbers, it's 6 million people in the past 2 years because during the campaign and everything else, Biden just issued an order that said, come on. And so we have, or at least a statement that invited people to break the law and to come across the border. And we've got a massive humanitarian crisis that's going on there with just thousands of people. I saw a video last night from El Paso, and there's just hundreds and hundreds of people in the street, these encampments, these little, you can't even call them homeless shelters, just homeless communities that are popping up, because you can see on your screen all these people who are just, flooding across our border. And then there's a report that there's between 700,000 and 1 million, 700,000 and 1 million migrants who are waiting to cross once the Title 42 expires today. So, and then you get a report, which I put in the VIP update, that the president of Guatemala said, hey, 80,000 more coming your way. So it's just, I mean, it's a catastrophe. It's a humanitarian crisis. And, the people that are at the Americans along the southern border, even, the government entities, they just can't, we can't handle it,
Yeah. There's votes happening as soon as today on this in the House. And so we really want to take a look at this. Our VIPs encourage you, and actually all of our team members, you'll be getting an email today. Go to our website, take action. It's time to take action. If you want to stop this invasion, which it is an invasion that this president doesn't seem to want to stop, you need to let your voice be heard. All you got to do is come to grassfire.com, sign our petition. Another way you can do is take action, take faxes. Just select the fax level you want to get. Pick the targets you want to reach. For our VIPs, you just go to our VIP page, and what you'll notice is that it's a $3 fax. This is why we want you to become a VIP, to help us fight this battle. We're going to enable you to take more action as and at a lower cost, so you can reach. This is 20 faxes are going to get sent out. You can also reach a larger pool for our VIPs. So become a VIP. If you're getting this on special invitation, there's votes happening today. This is absolutely a critical issue that we've got to take a stand on, Brian. We've got to take action. Kudlow called it, quote, an unstoppable catastrophic story. This is this is a massive humanity. It's horrible for what is happening to people who are coming across the border, and it's horrible for what's happening to our country as well.
Well, you've got to just consider too some of the other aspects of what's going on. I mean, there's just the amount of illegal drugs coming over. There's unaccompanied children. The report from whistleblowers in the past week is that 85,000 of these unaccompanied children have been lost in the system. The Biden administration was supposed to care and protect these children, and they don't know where they are, according to this whistleblower. I mean, it's horrible on every single level, and it's just because we've had a porous border and an open border. And in the next, few hours, few days, I mean, Even Biden, you'll see, said that, it's going to be chaotic for a while. For a while, it's been chaotic ever since, you took the oath of office. And
Yeah,
it's
this
just,
could be the worst influx that we've ever seen, the biggest humanitarian crisis, cultural crisis on the border that we've ever seen. And it's happening right now with Title 42 expiring and with Congress voting. So if you want to do something on that, now is the time, or forever hold your peace. I mean, then just don't ever complain about this issue ever again. If you're not going to call Congress, send faxes, sign petitions, do something in the next 24 hours, then I'd say don't even bother. I mean, yeah, we've come to that point, Brian. But let's move on to the other really compelling issue that's hitting the headlines right now. Let's listen to McCarthy.
Well, I asked him numerous times, are there some places we could find savings?
Now, this is McCarthy talking about the meeting that he had, the bogus meeting, sadly, they had with President Biden about the looming debt ceiling crisis. Listen a little bit more.
He wouldn't give me any, so I'm hopeful that we'll be able to find them. You can't spend more money, which his budget does, than the pandemic. They added $6 trillion when they're in the majority, and what happened? We got inflation. We hurt every family in America. I think the best thing we could do is find places that we can eliminate waste, find places that we can grow this economy. And that's exactly what the House bill does. Look, I would have loved to have spent from February 1st on working together and negotiating something. He would never meet with us.
Yeah, that's kind of where we are, Brian, with this crisis, which is now looming. We're within a few weeks of what Secretary Yellen is saying will actually be the critical time when the debt ceiling will be exceeded, in essence, where we would possibly default as a country on our debts. So this is coming down to a crisis, and Biden has been politicking this all along. He has not been willing to negotiate, to even discuss this, and it's getting very, very serious.
well, he doesn't want to negotiate because he wants what he wants. Well, like a spoiled teenager. He wants no strings attached. He just wants to continue, to spend and spend and spend. I saw a graphic yesterday that said, the amount of debt that every American is saddled with now, based on, we're approaching 32 trillion, is like more than $90,000 a person, and it's nearly $250,000 per taxpayer. That's how bad the situation is. And I give full marks to McCarthy. I mean, he continues to just do an excellent job as Speaker. And he's the only one who has a plan. That's even, what economic analysts and, I think even the Wall Street Journal has said he's the only one on Capitol Hill with a plan right now.
Let's talk about the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal came out all guns a-blazing against what Biden is in theory proposing. Look at this from the opinion page. Biden's ridiculous line in the sand. Just because the president's debt ceiling position is political and absurd doesn't mean it's not dangerous. I mean,
yeah. You just have to pick out ridiculous, absurd, dangerous. But then you wrap that all up in political, and that's pretty much what you get most of the time when you deal with politics.
It's really bad. And then the Wall Street Journal call out Biden because, listen, it's in a sign of intractability of the negotiations. The Biden administration has begun weighing whether it can unilaterally issue debt by invoking the 14th Amendment if Congress fails to raise the debt ceiling, according to people familiar with the matter. So basically, the White House is now saying, we're going to take this matter into our own hands, and we're going to be even more lawless than we've been and just push this right through. I mean, it's absurd, Brian.
McCarthy said something in another interview recently where he was kind of comparing it to a teenager with a credit card. Like if you give your teenager a credit card and that person begins to just continue to spend and spend and spend and reaches the limit, if they want to increase their limit, don't you want to know what they're spending on? And, again, this is does exactly what the Democrats are asking for. It raises the debt ceiling, but at the expense for them, but at the savings to the American taxpayer of $4.8 trillion over 10 years. The thing they don't like is that this plan actually reins in spending and defunds a good part of Joe's ridiculous, absurd, and dangerous far left political agenda, his America Last agenda. So they're going to hold on tooth and nail, and they're going to, who's going to look worse in this? Is it going to be the Republicans or the Democrats? And the Republicans cave so often. I guess that's what the Democrats are counting on, this time.
They're definitely counting on that. And also, Biden has to keep this issue and this battle with Republicans allegedly shutting down the government and causing us to default, which is their game plan, because the walls are closing in on the Biden crime family, Brian, as we've been reporting to our team members. I mean, it's really, Representative Comer says this looks like an organized crime unit at this point. We're having explosive revelations even this week on this issue. So Biden has no choice but to continue to demagogue the issue of the debt, and Republicans want to take away your Social Security and ruin the country, because right now the Biden crime family, the walls are closing in on them as well.
Yeah, Representative Comer out of Kentucky held a press conference on Wednesday to kind of unveil more of the evidence that they have. And he continues to say that there's a litany of LLCs, limited liability corporations, where they're just transferring money back and forth, hoping to obscure it and hide it from the government. And it looks really bad. And that's, the first million that they've been talking about. What else is going on? So, I mean, we've got all kinds of evidence in there, about the family's dealings, about business partners who've, come forward, and maybe even possibly the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, running cover even before he was Secretary of State for the Biden family. And so it's going now, even possibly beyond the immediate family, into brothers and daughters and sons and fathers and sisters, to sitting members of the administration. I mean, Secretary of State, that's pretty big.
That's pretty big.
So I hope that that if they do have hard evidence, it comes to light, that they share it, and that we can get to the truth on this. I mean, it's been frustrating to see the DOJ and other federal law enforcement agencies or organizations kind of dodge and weave for the Biden family. And hopefully now that the Republicans are in charge of the House, they're getting to the bottom of some of it.
Well, we've got just a little bit of time left, Brian, but I do want to bring a mention of what we're seeing. Something else breaking last night. Tucker Carlson, I'm just going to roll the video with no audio. Something's happening to Tucker Carlson. He's going to reemerge. And where's he going to reemerge, Brian?
Exactly where you said, Steve. Twitter.
Oh, do I need to play the what we call an Ido Bragnick fees? I'm tired of being right and getting no credit for it. I mean, maybe I don't need to play this, but I kind of feel like I do need to play it, just because we
roll the tape, baby.
Roll the tape. Let's roll the tape on this one. Times larger than his audience on Fox. So I think Tucker's not going to have a problem finding an audience in this new internet age. And you remember who he just interviewed a few days ago? Elon Musk.
Right.
I tell you, I can't take this as someone else I saw on the internet mention it. I won't be surprised if something works out between Tucker and Musk to create a new streaming service for videos, a platform for Tucker that he can. Well, we haven't gotten to the point of creating a platform quite yet, Brian, but I kind of guess that might be next. We'll see what happens. And Tucker's just going to go on Twitter. Musk at this point says there's no arrangements, but listen, when Tucker puts his first Tucker Carlson Tonight up there and gets 50 million views, there's going to be some arrangements that are going to happen, Brian, out of that.
Well, last night, I think it was, or the day before, Elon Musk liked a tweet where somebody was raving, a Twitter user was raving about the platform and what a great video platform it was. And, and so kind of gave some suggestions, and all Musk said was, yep, means he's moving towards that. So
definitely is moving towards
he'd have a great ally, and a great content creator in Tucker Carlson.
So listen, let's wrap this up and just encourage all of our team members. 2 critical issues happening right now. Today is a critical issue on the issue of immigration, with Title 42 coming to an end, and with you having the opportunity to have a voice and let your voice be heard. Go to Grassfire, look for your emails, sign a petition, send faxes, let your voice be heard in that issue. It's very, very important to do that. And also another thing, would you consider, if you're not a VIP and you're watching this on special invitation, Become a VIP with us. We really need your help. We need about 50 new VIPs this month. Brian, would make a huge difference for us. You're going to get our news digest up to 80% off on our fax fires, unlimited faxes to your members of Congress, our new impact portal, which you can get engaged on today, another way to contact your members of Congress. It's all very important, and we really, really need help right now to try to see if we can make a difference in this country and take a stand for liberty, life, and limited government. Brian, thanks so much, and thank you to our team members who are taking action with us. This is Steve Elliott for Grassfire.